Welcome to Healthy Lifestyle. This is Lori Anne Casdia. I am Lori Anne. Yes, indeed. I hope you guys are having a really good weekend. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. Oh my goodness. We start out today in such a wonderful fashion, and sitting here in our studios in the airport on Long Island, New York, and watching all the hubbub. It's so exciting to see all the people coming and going. We haven't seen that in some time, so it's really a lot of fun to watch. So if you're watching us live on Facebook, just let us know that you can see the people behind me coming in, grabbing their luggage. So it's all really exciting for us to be here, operating right out of the MacArthur Airport. And thank you very much to Supervisor Angie Carpenter for letting the studio be here. Anyway, with that said, I am so excited today because we get to talk about stuff that I am incredibly passionate about. I utilize it with I use these products with my mentoring clients. I really recommend them. I've really transformed my own life as a result of doing it. Just as a disclaimer, I am a certified aromatherapist since, yes, the 1980s. Don't do the math. And today we are so fortunate from across the country. We have the wonderful, the amazing Janis Neary Miller. She's a mom, a military wife, and a young living guru. Welcome to the show, Janis.
Oh, thanks for having me, Lori.
Oh my gosh, such a pleasure. So you are, in fact, a young living guru, but I want to start and let everybody know, extraordinaire, right? Extraordinaire. Let everyone know, how did you get into young living?
So actually quite by accident. I saw a friend's Facebook post about a thing called the Abundance Experience.
Yes.
And it had a huge panel of all of these amazing transformative coaches on it, from Jack Canfield to Robin Byrne of The Secret, Bob Proctor. There was just so many names on there, and I was just like, wow.
Janice Atwood.
Yep, I was just going to say, there was I think there was like 15.
Yes, yeah, it was amazing.
All the names. But it was huge, and I was just like, wow. And the two things that hit me was, one, I was in a place where I was trying to figure out what my next chapter was. I had gone through some intense few years, even pre-COVID. And I was like, I think it's time for me to pivot. And no matter what I do, I'm going to need abundance. So I was keen to know what that was about. But the other thing was the woman who posted it. I had met her 6 years ago, and watching her transformation on Facebook, I was like, I really need to see what Catherine is up to, and how is it that she's working with Jack Canfield and all these people.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, so that's why I reached out.
Catherine Trustain. Yeah, actually, I started in the Abundance Experience myself. I had signed up because I'm a Jack Canfield Train the Trainer. So I was working with someone, and they mentioned that they were doing Young Living now as a pivot for their company during COVID. And I was like, well, I love essential oils for years, obviously, because I was certified years ago. Okay. Myself under Rosemary Gladstar, and she had certified me years ago in the 80s, like I had indicated, and it was amazing. And I was just like, yeah, sign me up. It's really cool, because they showed me that lineup of the 15 different names that were there, Jack Canfield, all the other ones that you named, plus more. And it was just one amazing experience after the other. And that really started me on the roll as well. And that's where I met the great Catherine Trustain, who you were referring to.
Yeah. And for me, I was watching all of this abundance and manifestation and amazing things that you guys were experiencing. But about a week to almost 2 weeks in, I called Catherine and I said, why am I bawling my eyes out? I'm not a crier. Yeah. I used to tell people I was allergic to my own tears. Like, I just don't, that's not my thing.
Right.
And she knows. And what the part of the story is that Catherine and I, when we met, was because she had come to an organization. I have a background in recreation, and I was working administrative part of a nonprofit in recreation and adaptive recreation, and she had come as part of one of our PTSD programs.
Right.
And so when I met her 6 years ago, she was in a really dark place with her own, her dad being in the military, coming back from, World War II vet, a very severe PTSD, her childhood, all of that stuff. And then when he passed away and her mom passed away, but quite tragically, it resurfaced all this PTSD for her. So I called her crying. She's like, well, I know a little bit about you and your mom being a veteran with compounded PTSD and your childhood. My suggestion is you use these oils, and we have another collection that helps with feelings and your emotional release, as well as another kit specifically designed for trauma.
Yeah.
The Freedom Kit.
The Freedom Kit,
And that truly was freedom for me after going through that. I cried a lot more, but the cleansing and the energy lift, I joke that one of the oils called Forgiveness was the one that I went, okay, I can see where we're going with it.
Yeah.
And I went to put it on, and the little stopper had popped off, and I didn't know it, and it poured all over me, and I bathed in forgiveness that day. But I felt such a surge of light that even my husband noticed,
Yeah.
So,
It's amazing because the oils actually vibrate like we do. That we're vibrational beings, and we throw out this energy, and that energy is that vibration. And the oils vibrate because they're made from plants. And speak to us about the plants, in specifically Young Living plants, Young Living oils, the purity of the oils, the differences between the Young Living oils and that of some other companies.
Well, and that's the thing that's really captured my buy-in. I listening to, they have a thing called seed to seal, and understanding that process is, and honestly, it's even beyond seed, right? Like, they own farms.
Yes.
They source and make sure that everything from the soil to the environment to the seed to the plant, like everything into that oil is meeting their standards. And the reason for that is because the founder, Gary Young, wasn't looking to build a company. He was intrigued by the science and the efficacy of plant oils.
Yeah.
And so he made sure that not only are the plants and everything going into the oils at the highest of caliber and the highest of purity, but then when they distill it, I mean, he knows the difference. He knew the difference between distilling something at 23 and a half hours and 24 hours, and whether the constituents were there at the level it needed to have the efficacy that it for the effect.
Yeah, well,
out of the plant.
Yeah, the effectiveness of any oil or any product is based on keeping those properties together. And sometimes Western medicine takes plants and they take them apart. So a really good example that I learned years ago under Rosemary Gladstar Slick is that they indicated, they being the FDA, indicated that the sassafras plant was carcinogenic. And the reality is it's only carcinogenic when you take it apart and you try to examine all the different components. When they're together, they work in such a way, in such a balance, that they are not carcinogenic in any way, shape, or form. And so he really has mastered knowing and understanding each of the plants and when and where and how to keep all those properties together. And similar to herbalism, when you take a plant and you process and process and process, it reduces its medicinal effect.
And that's the thing. So, like, I had always understood, essential oils to be something that smells nice, or something you put in your room. Maybe lavender calms you down. Although I have a lot of allergies, and I found that all these laundry detergents and all these room fresheners that have lavender in it made me itch and sneeze, and my it gets stuffy, and I didn't feel well when I was around them. I didn't understand that that's a scent, and then there's essential oils, and then there's like pure essential oils. And one of the things that Young Living does is that no other company really focuses on is not that it just smells nice, but that it really has the effect that you want out of the plant.
Yeah, yeah. And there are some products out there that smell really, really nice, but it's been distilled multiple times, 4 times. So I liken it when I explain it to people, I liken it to olive oil. So you have virgin olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and then you have cold pressed. And every time you press it, it makes it a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter, a little bit less olivey tasting. So if you've ever had extra virgin olive oil, that's like first press. And so it has a lot more elements, a lot more components in it. It's actually better for you. And the same thing with the oils, as I understand it.
Yes, but it's potent. And some people are like, well, I don't like that. There's a certain tinge to it or a bitterness. And they're like, well, I don't want that on my food. And it's like, but that's actually the purest, best form for the effect of olive oil that you can get.
Yes.
And that's another thing, too. I find that's interesting. I did not know this, but, some oils will say they're 100% therapeutic grade, but they could put another kind of oil in that's lesser in that's still 100% therapeutic grade,
yes,
but it's not 100% lavender therapeutic grade or
right.
100. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
they'll mix it,
cut it down, and they'll mix it also.
And they're allowed. So how do we know pure from pure? Because you can call it pure, as I understand it, even if you have, I think it was, 5% to 30%, you could still, of just essential oils with other stuff added to it, you could still call it pure, as I understand it. Am I right with those numbers?
Yeah, and I'm not really the best one to ask for numbers. I am not one to retain that, but that sounds exactly right, Lori. Yeah. I understand process. I'm just not good at the data. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, don't apologize. It's just information that kind of sticks in my head, and I don't know why.
Here's the numbers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't tell anybody.
You're good at numbers. But yeah, no, I think the other thing for me, I encourage people to do your research.
Yes.
Because, if this is your body, this is your well-being, it's just the same thing when you're taking nutritional supplements and things like that, right? You can have nutritional grade, you can have pharmaceutical grade, you can have a company with an amazing reputation and one that, I grew up in fitness years and years and years ago, and I started in high school, and I was doing, these protein shakes that would probably, kill a cow. I mean, yeah. They were not good. I mean, and they were just horrible. But, they build muscle and they keep you fit. We've learned so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll date myself since my high school in the 90s. But, we've learned so much in that field. And it's the same thing with essential oils or anything like that. People are starting to realize that fragrance is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Fragrance is like the lowest grade. That's why when I had that I had those in my fabric softeners and my laundry detergents, my body reacted so horribly to it because it wasn't good for me. And yet I've been able to use the entire line of Young Living essential oils and had no allergic reaction.
Yeah. I've actually, in the last 6 months, I've changed a majority of my products over to being natural, utilizing essential oils as the base, and it's entirely different. I'm just starting, and I know other people have a lot more sensitive nose, but I'm just starting to really be able to smell the difference between when it's pure essential oils versus products with these fragrance in it, these fake imitation of fragrance. It's not coming from plants. It doesn't have all the properties, and not all the essential oils are really pretty smelling, but they're medicinal. And the truth of the matter is, as I've learned, there's this oil called Angelica. And white Angelica. And I love it now. But when I first smelled it, it smelled horrible. And I was told, well, that means you need it. So I kept using it, and now I really like it. The same thing happened when I was working with herbs back in the 80s and 90s, and I was working with valerian. And to me, it smelled like really old, athletic, sweaty socks that you had stashed in a... Yeah. Oh, it was awful. It was awful, to the point where I was pressing out a batch that I had made, and you actually press the plant, and then you get rid of the plant and you keep the liquid that presses out when you've made it. And all the windows were closed. I had my air conditioning on. And my husband at the time, he had come to the stop sign, which is about a half a block away. And he comes into the house and he goes, "What are you doing?" Because I can smell it from the stop sign. And I was just hysterical. And while I was doing it, we have horses behind us. The horses were whinnying while we were doing this. So it was really interesting how it was really affecting the whole neighborhood. So needless to say, I had to make sure everybody knew that everything was fine. There was nothing toxic. It was actually all natural. But the smell was really bad. Now I enjoy the smell.
Well, and that's the thing. I feel like with the forgiveness for me, but they say that because of the frequency, right? If you are so off, you're a mismatch, right? It's like a oof,
yeah.
This electrical current of just repulsion, like,
yes.
Oh, okay, that's not, but I tell people, get a relationship with that oil. I learned this from Catherine too. Put it in your pocket. Just carry it with you for a little while, and then put it on your feet, and start where it's not so in your face, and you'll start to acclimate, and your frequencies will start to rise to match that oil.
That is amazing.
And it's so true, because I've watched this happen for people over and over and over again. And it usually is the one, like with Young Living, what I love about it is the fact that they have these labels. And when it comes to the emotional support or the spiritual aspects or things like that, the label tells you exactly where you're headed with it.
Yeah.
And so I find people they don't like motivation. It's like, well, because you bought that because the label said motivation, obviously it's something you need. Or like focus, or, things that will not like focus, but we have things that will help you to focus. That whole line, there's a couple of different things you could use. People who have trouble focusing at first do not like the smells.
True.
Like it's so woodsy too. Smells like, moss. Yeah, moss is really good.
That's right. That's right.
It's very natural, nature smelling,
Yeah, it's really good. And there are essential oils like freedom, gratitude, gathering. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And he was just such brilliant. And his wife continues, his family continues the efforts. They own farms all over the world, and they know everything that's happening on every farm, and they oversee that. Even the ones that they're leasing with, they have very stringent expectations, higher than any expected from any government across the world, as I've been told and taught.
And we actually just recently, Young Living turned away a wintergreen harvest.
Why is that?
Not because it didn't have the constituents necessary for the things that we use wintergreen for. So a lot of our pain creams, like Cool Azul and things like that, have wintergreen in it.
Brilliant.
Away. And, and they turned it away. Now, that probably means some other company will buy it.
Yes.
But we won't. That's when I hear things like that about the company, I'm like, I know I can count on this company to have high standards.
Yes, and that's what resonates with me. And that's what resonates with my friends who are utilizing the products, is that it is high standards. There's high expectations, and they really hold firm to it, to the point where they'll stop making a particular product if it doesn't reach that level of expectations and standards. So I love that.
I think the other thing you said about them knowing the farms, I mean, a lot of companies, with big, huge, vacations and retreats and things like that, they'll send you someplace, like, let's say, which we have, contests, if you want to win a free vacation. But most of the time, these retreats, we send our Young Living people to farms for a reason. They get their hands in the dirt. They get to help with the harvest. They get to plant the trees, and they pray over the tree. They put spiritual energies into the trees as they're being planted. Not many companies go to that level of not only purity and efficacy, but there's just an energy that they put into everything that they grow.
It's unbelievably beautiful. And again, another reason why this resonates with both of us, right? You are listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne. I am speaking to the great, wonderful Janis Neary Miller. We want to thank you, Janis, and your husband for the service you provide to our country so that we have the freedom to have these type of conversations and the freedom to do what we want. I'm very grateful because my family gets to do what they want as a result of what you and your family do, protecting our country. So we really appreciate that. But if you just hang in there, everyone, we are going to take a short little break and we're going to come back with the second half, continuing our conversation with Janis Neary Miller. We will be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne. I am Lori Anne. That's right. I am indeed Lori Anne, and having a really great time today speaking my language of essential oils, vibration, and really mood-changing items and things to make our lives better, cleaner, more effective, and really take our family to a better place with better properties and products. So we are speaking with Janis Neary Miller. She is a mom, a military wife, and yes, she is our Young Living guru. Janis, you really impressed me at convention a couple of weeks ago, and your knowledge, your ability to put systems in place, that must be your military background, yeah?
Something about that. Probably. I'm thinking that they are. So at convention, they launched all these new beautiful products, one of which I'm absolutely in love with, which is the Divine Destiny set. Let's talk about that for a quick second. And then I want to make sure that we talk about the various products, because Young Living is not just essential oils, but they have a complete line of different products that are just like one is better than the next. And that's, to me, also what opened up for me is, yes, I came in through the emotional and the manifestation and the trauma and ancestral trauma and all that side of the house, so to speak. But then I was like, oh, wow, they have this whole other side for our body, and whether that's, we have nutritional products and they have, healthy cleaning, like you were talking about, the essential oil infused cleaning, getting your house toxin and chemical free.
Yes.
And really learning how to ditch, we call it ditch and switch for a reason. Like you just switch over and you ditch the other stuff.
Yes.
Is super important. And as someone who has always been reactive and a lot of allergies and things like that, I've noticed so much in my own system.
Yeah.
Calming down.
Yeah.
And because of that, my emotional wellness is better. I'm not agitated. I'm not itchy. I'm not frustrated, And then I know this is super important for our children. So I have a daughter who's 5 to 6 years old, and her little endocrine system has had all these chemicals in her environment, from her shampoos to her conditioners. And so Young Living has solutions for all of that too. And so
they actually have a children's line. They have a young living line, if they will. I love that line. It's so good. It's Young Living seedlings.
Yeah, the seedlings for the babies and the littles. And then they have Kids Scents as well for oils for kids. So my daughter has her oil diffuser in her room, and we use, sleepy eyes for sleep. She uses Genius for focus, and then she calls it her focus oil. But her favorite oil, honestly, is gratitude.
Oh, there you are. Gratitude. Look at you.
She just walked in the room.
That's awesome. Yeah. No. And does she have the owl, that cute little owl diffuser? It kills me.
Yes, she does.
It's so cute.
I made the mistake of watching the holiday launch with her. As they showed like Snowy the owl. She's like, Mom, I need that. So
I love that. And they have animal scents as well.
They do for animal support and things like that, because some people think that essential oils cannot be used around animals, and that's not true.
No.
One, you want to make sure when you're diffusing they have, they can regulate by leaving the room if necessary, but there's nothing in young living oils that they can't use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of animals have reacted because the oils were not pure.
Well, because they're very sensitive to it.
Exactly. They're more sensitive.
Yeah, their olfactory is a much higher level, so they really detect scents from a very far distance. So yeah, they're very sensitive to non-pure or fragrance. They don't like the fragrance. They like essential oils. It's really better for them.
There must be something in abundance that my dog likes, because every time I wear it, she tries to lick my hand.
Oh, that's so funny. Mine does too. And it's
so there's something there.
I use Envision when I'm meditating, and my little girl, Missy jumps up, sits on the bed, and then she just I can see her. She's doing that nose sniff thing, where they're constantly sniffing and sniffing in my direction. And I was like, oh, okay, she likes this one. So, and she's so much calmer, since I've been really diffusing essential oils throughout my house. They also have Food Line, the einkorn grain, which was actually from the ancient times. And I love the touch about this is that Gary went and got the seeds and was planting them, because it contains only 14 chromosomes, which is a huge difference from the 42 chromosomes contained in a modern hybridized wheat that we eat, that we're all getting these allergies from. If anybody has a wheat allergy, I would really recommend them giving some research into the einkorn. Am I saying that right? Einkorn?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You are.
So I've had great experience with that, and it doesn't give me that carb hangover, and I don't get that kind of bloaty feeling after I eat. When you eat carbs and you feel bloaty.
Yes.
And I really think that has something to do with why when I went to Italy and I had pasta every single day there, I lost weight while I was there, still eating stuff that I absolutely loved. Michael's giving us a thumbs up because he's gone to. How many times have you gone to Italy, Michael?
I've been there 9 times.
And don't you agree with me that, you don't feel bloated after you eat the pasta over there?
No, you definitely don't. Their foods are much less processed there, and they're much more natural and fresh. And you don't gain a lot of weight if you eat a lot there. But probably the only way that you do is if you eat a lot of the fruit that they serve after the meal. But other than that, it should be all good.
Who has room after the meals that they serve over there? It's amazing.
They do, not us, though.
This is true. They're always palate cleansing. That's why they put the fruit at the end. It gives you the little sweet, but it also cleanses your palate. And it's supposed to be really good for digestion. So that's why they eat in the order that they do. And we just don't eat that way here. And I think that accounts for a lot of things. But I love the einkorn. And actually, we have einkorn flour. And I recently made, and you had them, didn't you? The peppermint brownies.
You made, yes.
Yeah.
Peppermint infused.
Yeah.
The brownies.
Yeah. And actually,
and the other thing,
what?
I was just going to say, there's an entire line of vitality oils specifically for cooking.
I just did that I had a bunch of ladies over this weekend. You might have seen some of that on my private Facebook page, if you're in there. And I use vitality oils in all of it, and those are ingestible. And, I did a Thai chicken lettuce wrap. I did a quiche with using basil and oregano and rosemary oils. And then I did my favorite. Oh my gosh. If you haven't had this, Janis, you have to try it. Honey lavender lemonade. Oh my gosh. It was a hit.
That sounds so good.
It was good. And then we took shots of Ningxia, which let everybody know more about Ningxia and the wolfberry.
Well, the wolfberry, can you hear me? I think my signal cut out a little bit.
I can.
Hold on. Okay. So, that was what I was going to say. And then we get to some of my favorite stuff coming from a background in fitness and nutrition, like I was saying. When you talk about things like Ningxia, which is the wolfberry, it's a super antioxidant. It's low on the blood sugar, just like you were saying, you don't get when you eat the carbs, this is a juice that you can actually drink that'll help with your blood sugars. And I think the equivalent, I couldn't even list out, again, Lori, you're great with numbers. What is it like, 14 ounces of blueberries and 16 pomegranates. I don't know. It's ridiculous in terms of the antioxidants.
It's the highest antioxidant you can get, berry, that you can get, higher than blueberries. Blueberries were really amongst the highest, other than pomegranate, I believe. And I'm not sure if blueberry actually surpassed pomegranate, but it's just amazing, and it tastes really good. We actually added a shot. One of the girls there was like she's actually been on the show. She's an author, and Marguerite said, "Can we put a shot of the Ningxia in the champagne that we're drinking?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And all the ladies did that, and it tasted really good.
I was going to say, that's the thing. It's like, well, and I tend to do mocktails when I'm trying to be healthier and that kind of thing. But if my husband, especially if we're going to have a cocktail, why not make it healthier by adding in some great fiber, protein, and antioxidants? It's just going to be better.
Well, funny that you say that, is because a very dear friend of mine, Courtney Boom Boom Cox, a friend of the radio show as well. She is called the Traveling Cocktailian, and our Vitality Cocktails book is coming out the beginning of July, and you can get that on Amazon. And we do just that. We take the drinks that we would normally have because we're entertaining, and we make different versions. We make mocktails, and we also make cocktails utilizing the Vitality line, and utilizing the Ningxia, and utilizing I can't remember the name, the one in the tube. What's that one that replaces
Nitro?
What? Say again.
The nitro tube?
Nitro, yeah. That's the one that replaces my caffeine that I need in my coffee. That is awesome. I think I caught you downing a couple of those while we were at convention.
That and Zing. That Zing's more of the fizzy replacement for soda, but so much healthier for you. And yes, you get a nice little lift from that one too. So yes, convention required all the tools.
Exactly, and we had some mocktails going on there with all the different vitalities and combining Zing and Nitro and Ningxia. And if you were to distinguish the difference between those three, how would you describe each one of those?
So Ningxia is like your everyday boost, right? Like you take a shot of it, or you can mix it into sparkling water or whatever, but it is your antioxidant boost, right? And then if you're going to play around with your energy level, I personally, for me, it's Nitro. Because it actually not only gives you an energy boost, but it's working on your mental clarity. You get a cognitive boost.
Wow, that's not possible with sugar.
No, that's the thing. And honestly, with coffee hits your nervous system.
All right, don't hurt me now. I love my coffee. You know that.
I know.
I'm actually doing the Nitro now, so I like it.
Yeah, but if it's the same thing with our Vitality drops, which for energy, it has a little guarana, which is hits your adrenal system instead of your nervous system. When your adrenals are being utilized, you have that focus, right? The adrenaline, flight or flight, you have focus. When you hit your nervous system, what do you have? Nervous energy.
Energy, yeah.
People call that snippy in me, but
yeah, I might have been called that once or twice in my lifetime.
And then what's great about Zing is like a sparkling water, but it has pear and blueberry in it, and juices, and then a hint of lime and black pepper, and so it gives you a nice. It's a soft drink replacement.
Yeah, we don't even have soft drinks in our house because the sugar quantity the levels are just ridiculous. But all very great products, and you also do a lot of personal care products, right? Like toothpaste and deodorants, and taking, especially with the deodorants, the aluminum out of the deodorants. There's no aluminum.
Well, it's better than that. And that's what I got super excited about, because one, it works, because a lot of these ones that we've taken the aluminum out of are gone more natural, don't work.
Yes.
You smell bad.
Yes.
Really fast. But for me, I love the citrus guard and stuff like that, because it actually works on the microbiome of your armpits, because you have a lot of bacteria in there, and that's what causes the smell, and it's working with that to eradicate that smelly bacteria. It's way beyond just remove the aluminum.
pretty contents that we have here. Hope nobody's eating. Soaps. We have soaps and bath gels and men's care and body care and lotions and moisturizers and dental care and hair care, and we have facial care. We also have, believe it or not, and I know you know this, is the Savvy Minerals by Young Living, which is our makeup.
Yeah, we have makeup.
Oh my gosh, it was so light.
I'm not a makeup person. I do not wear makeup.
Well, you don't need to.
But thank you. But when we went to convention, I knew we were going to have our grand gala, and I was like, I would like to be made up. And so, yeah, getting to get color matched and experience that, it goes on. At first, you're like, I'm not sure I'm going to, this doesn't look like I want to wear this.
Yeah.
And you blend it with a brush, and it just fades so naturally into your skin, and you don't even feel like you're wearing makeup. It actually made my skin softer when I took it off.
I agree.
I was like, wow, this is actually healthy for my skin.
Yeah, I don't think you were in the room when I was fighting them. I was like, no, I don't want to do base, and they're like, no, you really want to do base, and I was like, no, I don't, because what it does is it accentuates all of my lines, and that does not make me happy. And they were like, no, I promise you it won't. And I was like, all right, but just get the wipes ready, because I'm going to take it right off if I see all those lines. And I have to tell you, no lines. No lines.
No lines. You blend it in, and it's just like your airbrush.
Yeah.
You're just like, look at that. I have an airbrush look.
It really was an airbrush look. You're absolutely right. And the other thing is the colors are so subtle and so natural. It looks natural. You don't look made up. So what was happening was I was taking double takes. So I think you remember, we had Roberta there. Roberta is just this wonderful spirit. And, we got her to sit long enough, and she was hysterical while they were doing it. And, she is actually an actress by trade and used to all this heavy makeup, and she looked amazing. I think she looked 10 years younger when they were done after putting the makeup on.
Yeah, I agree. Not just from the wrinkles, but the glow. She just looked so naturally,
beautiful.
Done up. She had a glow about her with it. So I agree.
I love that. And the Mara, the oil for my hair, making the curls all nice. I love doing the DIY with the Mara. Am I saying it right? I say it products to my own way, but that's what it's spelled like. So that oil for the hair, I do the what do they call it? The women fish. Oh my goodness, your daughter will know.
For the what?
You get curly hair. It's like beach hair, but they call it. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the name. Michael, help me out here.
What? I don't know what you're thinking of.
The women who have the women who have the tail, the fish tail.
Oh,
mermaid. Thank you, mermaid hair.
Mermaid.
The women fish. What? No.
The women fish.
Pisces? No.
We would have known that.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't think of that. Thank you very much, Michael. So yeah, the mermaid hair using that oil is just amazing. Amazing. So what other products? There's home products, right?
The home products. And then also the one that I'm passionate about too is the nutrition supplements. Yes. They have smooth, like shakes and things like that. But the thing for me is it's oil infused supplements. So not only are you getting, if you ever get the opportunity to sit at an education with Ed Daly, who works on our nutritional education, he is talking about the microbiome and how it connects to every system in our body, from our brain, to our heart and everything. Like, there's so much that they now know about nutrition, but Young Living has really tried to stay as far advanced in that conversation as they can, while bringing back all the knowledge of plant medicine and the essential oil.
Yeah, and I really recommend that anybody who's going to take any of these products or utilize them really do the research. I know Young Living does research. There's a lot of information out there. When you get information about Young Living, make sure it comes from Young Living, because they really have a whole team of scientists that's all they do, and they help educate people. I love, my newest love is Pro Essence Plus. That is amazing. I actually got off a pharmaceutical as a result of it. I no longer take take an estrogen because of Pro Essence. It really balanced everything out. And it was recommended that it would help people potentially, if they want to get pregnant. And I'm so excited because I introduced that to a friend of mine who really, really wants to have babies. And so we're going to see if that actually works. But based on one of the people I spoke to, they've had really amazing results in seeing women really get pregnant utilizing this, and it kind of balanced out their system. So we weren't doing high highs, low lows from a hormonal sense, and it really balanced that out. So she's taking it, her daughter's taking it now, and they're just seeing a huge difference. And I love that we have that. Janis, thank you so much for being on. We need to have you again because there's just too much information to get out there. And you're so full of knowledge, and I really appreciate it. Last thoughts in our last few seconds?
The last thing is I fell in love with the company, and I know you did too. But we really do need more brand partners as we carry this around the world.
Yeah.
So that's where my heart lies now, is with the mission and helping more and more people and families live a healthier lifestyle through Young Living products.
I'm right with you there, girl.
Emotionally, mentally, and physically, and soulfully, their spirit.
Absolutely. I'm right with you on that, and we're going to take the hill. Thank you all for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne. My heart is always lifted by sharing this time with you. Of course, we always ask you to remember to do a little something for someone else and yourself every day. Maybe this is what you're going to do for yourself. Again, it takes 21 days to build a habit, 90 days to build a lifestyle. Thank you all for joining us on Healthy Lifestyle with Lori Anne. I hope you have a great weekend. I am Lori Anne Casdia. Until next time, play a higher role, serve a higher purpose, show up for you, and yes, show up big.